The war is back on. US President Donald Trump has confirmed to Congress that military operations have resumed against Iran. The announcement comes after allegations that Tehran violated the ceasefire agreement by firing on commercial shipping vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. However, despite escalating tensions, the president maintains that a peace deal remains a possibility.
On Iran, you have said now to Congress that we are back at war. How long do you expect this to take, and what's the legal basis?
Take what?
The war.
Well, I think it's going very fast. We've demolished their military. We're hitting them very hard. We had a deal yesterday or the day before yesterday. It was all done, and then they broke up that deal immediately because they found out there was something in the deal they didn't like. And they're wired differently, and we're not going to put up with it. We are just going forward. We're attacking them tonight. We're taking out all of their capability for anything having to do with the Strait, with the Hormuz Strait. And I think in the end, we will end up just controlling the whole thing. And what they're doing is being very foolish, very stupid, and they've treated people horribly. They've killed 52,000 protesters so far that we can determine. It might be more than that, but 52,000 protesters have been killed. And it's really a terrible situation.
US Central Command confirmed early this morning that its forces carried out the latest round of strikes on Iranian targets last night, in line with President Trump's directive. The 5-hour mission saw US forces utilize precision munitions against Iranian coastal radar sites, air defense systems, missile and drone sites, and Iranian attack boats. The offensive targeted military infrastructure across Iran's southern coast, including in Bushehr, Chabahar, Jask, Konarak, Abu Musa, and Bandar Abbas. It marks the third consecutive night of US airstrikes, with a total of over 300 Iranian targets destroyed.
That Iran has agreed to a deal and then walked away from it. Have you reached the conclusion that a negotiated settlement won't be able to happen?
No, I never reach that conclusion, but we're hitting them very heavy tonight, as you know. We're hitting them. We have tremendous amounts of ammunition. We have numbers that we haven't had in years, and we're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue.
And while CENTCOM is dropping bombs from above, the aircraft carriers USS Abraham Lincoln and USS George W. Bush, supported by multiple destroyer and cruiser warships, are scheduled to reimpose a naval blockade on Iranian ports and vessels this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. In his announcement of the renewed blockade, President Trump stated that the US will from now on be known as the guardian of the Hormuz Strait, and as a matter of fairness, will be reimbursed at the rate of 20% on all cargo shipped through the international waterway. According to the president, the fee is intended to cover the costs associated with providing safety and security to vessels traveling through the strait.
We're knocking out all of their offensive capability, and we're controlling the straits. We're putting the blockade back. And it's a blockade not for anybody but Iran. In other words, anybody doing business with Iran can't go through. Everyone else will be able to go through. So it's a blockade. It's a very strong blockade. The blockade was probably more effective even than hitting them, but I think the combination is the thing that really does it.
Now, Iranian officials aren't pleased with the latest developments and have rejected US management of the strait. Iranian military spokesperson Ebrahim Zolfagari accused US military action of threatening regional security and international trade. In retaliation to renewed US strikes, Tehran has targeted US military installations in the region, in effect taking aim at Gulf neighbors, including Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE, and Jordan. Zolfagari went so far as to warn regional countries that any cooperation with the United States will be considered as an act of war against Iran.
ماجراجویی‌ها و شرارت‌های مکرر آمریکا برای دخالت در مدیریت تنگه هرمز امنیت منطقه، تجارت بین المللی و عبور و مرور کشتی‌های نفتکش و تجاری را به طور جدی به مخاطره انداخته و متاسفانه همکاری برخی کشورهای منطقه نیز موجب شده خطر گسترش جنگ در سراسر منطقه افزایش یابد. بر این اساس اعلام می‌گردد پیرو هشدارهای قبلی به هیچ عنوان به آمریکا اجازه دخالت در مدیریت تنگه هرمز را نمی‌دهیم و نخواهیم داد. نیروهای مسلح جمهوری اسلامی ایران با هر گونه اختلال و ناامنی برای عبور و مرور کشتی‌های تجاری و نفتکش توسط ارتش متجاوز و راهزن آمریکا خارج از مسیر تعیین شده ایران و بدون مجوز نیروهای مسلح با شدت برخورد می‌نماید و اقدامات قدرتمند سپاه پاسداران انقلاب اسلامی و ارتش جمهوری اسلامی ایران در ایام گذشته شاهدی بر این ادعاست. به سران کشورهای منطقه هشدار داده می شود هر گونه همکاری با آمریکا و پشتیبانی لوجستیکی از ارتش متجاوز آن کشور به منزله جنگ علیه حاکمیت و امنیت ملی ایران تلقی گردیده و در صورت گسترش جنگ در منطقه شعله‌های آتش جنگ دامن تمام کشورهای منطقه را فرا خواهد گرفت. مسئولیت تمام ناامنی‌ها و گسترش جنگ در منطقه متوجه آمریکا و کشورهایی است که با ارتش جنایتکار آن کشور همکاری می‌کنند.
Shifting our focus to the Russia-Ukraine war, after President Trump offered Ukraine license rights to manufacture Patriot missile defense systems, Kyiv and 9 European allies instead announced the creation of their own anti-missile defense system, Freya. During a meeting in Paris on Monday, the 10 nations formally established the Anti-Ballistic Missile Coalition, launching the Freya project as a cheaper, mass-producible alternative to the Patriot system.
Зараз в Україні буває так, що ми не маємо ракет для збиття балістики. Це факт і це правда. Саме тому ми розпочали нову антибалістичну програму, яка включає в себе координацію політичного, урядового, промислового виміру, та яка може дати масову антибалістичну зброю, систему і ракети до них. Ми назвали цю програму «Фрея». Сьогодні відбулася перша установча зустріч антибалістичної коаліції. Я дякую вам, друзі, за підтримку. Важливо, щоб були представники європейських компаній, саме тих, які виробляють критичні компоненти для оборонних систем. Firepoint, Thales, DL Defense, Saab, Kongsberg Defense, Aerospace, Weibel, Leonardo, Sener, MBDA, Eurosem, Safran, Destinus і інші. Дякуємо вам за те, що ви сьогодні були присутні. Ми усі по одному маємо важливі, дуже важливі деталі, дуже важливі компоненти. У нас в Україні є ракета, але це тільки частини систем. Ми усі разом можемо зробити протягом наступних 12 місяців цю ракету, цю систему, бажано масово, Фрею.
With Ukraine intensifying drone and missile strikes on Russian energy and civilian infrastructure in recent months, President Vladimir Putin reaffirmed on Monday that Moscow operates on a mirror principle, noting that Russia will respond to Ukrainian attacks in kind. However, their strikes will be much more powerful.
Наши ответы всегда будут зеркальными, куда бы они пытались наносить удар на территории Российской Федерации. Мы будем отвечать зеркально, только в несколько раз мощнее. И противник будет это чувствовать. Уже чувствует, надеюсь, и будет чувствовать это в дальнейшем. С нарастающим масштабом. Потому что уже сейчас начинается работа по созданию такой системы снабжения, для которой противнику будет очень сложно, если не будет в деталях.
Stay connected to the Love World networks, where we bring you the latest news as it unfolds.